What's going on, guys? MJ here, bringing you another traditional Dragon Ball discussion. I guess Dragon Ball Super, really, and to help me discuss DBS, I brought with me one half of the dynamic duo, aka Marky Mark. What's up, Real to Real Productions? How you doing, man?
What's up, MJ? Always a pleasure to be on your channel. Thank you for having me. And yes, this has to be described as a discussion video about Dragon Ball Super concerning the title and the thumbnail, I'm sure.
That's right, you guys have seen the title and the thumbnail, and we are talking about Hit, Mark's favorite character. Alright, so what we're talking about here today is, did Hit deserve more? Because what we got in the Tournament of Power with Hit was basically a tag team, I guess, matchup with Goku, and then he eliminated a couple of fodder characters, and then he fought Jiren, and then ultimately was eliminated by that monster, that dick, man. I can't believe what he said to Topo. I hate him. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I'm gonna throw it over to you, Mark. When it comes to if, I guess, Hit was wasted or if he deserved more, what do you think? Because obviously you were really hyped to see him in this tournament, so hit me with your thoughts, man. What's up?
Okay, my very first thought when it comes to Hit is that Hit is actually the best fight that we've seen against Jiren thus far. I'm just going to say it, throw it out there. The hour-long special episode 109, 110 can go jump off a cliff or something. Yes, those were cool, but that was just literally Goku getting dominated by Jiren. Even though Goku was on the defensive or offensive, I mean, the entire time of that fight, he wasn't really doing anything. He wasn't gaining any ground. Even when he got Ultra Instinct, he wasn't gaining any ground because it was cool. Jiren always had the upper hand. When Jiren actually fought Hit, there was a time when we all thought, oh man, like, could he do this? Like, if Hit had a couple more minutes, if Hit had literally had enough time to go up against Jiren for those remaining, like, half of the tournament minutes, he might have actually posed a serious threat to Jiren, and Jiren would actually have to use his, I guess, glowy punches? Like, boom, 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 like, very fast glowy punches to actually beat Hit. So, no, I think that was the best fight we've seen with Jiren. Hit actually had an amazing arc in Dragon Ball Super, and I'm just going to break it down here, because a lot of people really kind of shrug this off and Hit, like, oh, Hit is just like this tall, dark, and handsome and silent type of guy. So is Jiren. So Jiren is just kind of a copy off of Hit. I call foul, because Hit, from everyone that we got to introduce to in Dragon Ball Super, had an amazing character arc. So when we first meet him, he's all concerned about his own personal gain in any situation. He wants the cube. He realizes that what he does for a living, what he does as a job, is the assassination type thing. He takes people out. He even has to sit there during the tournament when he's fighting Goku, when he's fighting Vegeta, saying, is it okay? Are you sure I really can't take them out? It would make this so much easier. I wouldn't have the pain of having to sit here and basically waiting for these Saiyans to give up a match, because that's something that we all know doesn't happen. But throughout that fight, he realizes a little sense of himself, and he gets a little bit of respect from Goku and Vegeta and just the Saiyans in general. And then the next time we see him, Goku has hired him to come to take him out, and he gets a good fight. And you mention all the time that one of the things that Vado says is this was Hit the warrior, not necessarily Hit the assassin. He actually has respect for Goku. And then the third time when he's actually going up against Jiren, he says it himself. His job is no longer being the legendary assassin hitman of Universe 7, or of Universe 6, it's actually to protect and make sure Universe 6 actually survives the Tournament of Power. That is a full character arc right there, and they only did it in a couple episodes. Like, this guy went from being self-centered to literally the protector of the universe as his job. Like, that is amazing. I love that. And if you want to say he deserved more, yeah, in terms of fighting and everything else, maybe he deserved more. But from what we got character-wise, the way they portrayed him in the narrative, I think he's the only character in this entire series, at least a person introduced in this entire series, to actually get a full and satisfying arc.
No, I completely agree with you, man, because when you put it that way, yeah, it does make sense, because he's introduced in the tournament arc, right? And then his arc concludes in a tournament arc. That's kind of cool. I like that. So I do agree with you on that, on the fact that he went from being an assassin for his own personal gain to what he was and what he was to Kaba. Because think about it, even Kaba was almost like, even though it's never really stated, I kind of headcanon and kind of think to myself that Kaba and Hit kind of had like a little, I don't want to use the word relationship, but you can kind of tell that once Hit was gone, Kaba was like, no, my mentor. at least that's what it seemed like. Like I said, it's not stated, but you can tell he actually felt for Hit, and he felt that he had to take over the role of a leadership, a leader in that universe. So I think that's something to make note of, is just the fact that he almost felt like he was making friends, or at least, acquaintances with these people, which, if you remember in the last arc, he wasn't like that at all. Like, the dude had his arms crossed, wasn't even, like, paying attention to anything, had, like, his eyes closed the whole time, because, I guess he assumed everything was just boring and beneath him, at that time. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. But when it comes to if he deserved more, are you a part of the people who thinks that maybe he should have gotten a rematch with Vegeta? Do you think Vegeta should have gotten his second shot at Hit? Do you think we should have been able to see maybe Frieza versus Hit, which we did a full video on? Like, were there other characters that you would rather have seen Hit fight one-on-one or a part of a tag team duo before he was eliminated? Or,
I mean, when it comes to Hit in the Tournament of Power, at least in my opinion, we had Hit and Goku actually team up to take on Dispo earlier on in the tournament. And even though this was billed as a battle royale, all the universes against each other, and there could be some room for team ups between universes or something like that we are all speculating on before the Tournament of Power even began, that was the only thing that we actually got. I'm actually happy that Hit got that type of character moment with Goku, considering their history throughout this entire series. But yeah, man, it was way too little too late, in my opinion. This is something that they never really picked up on again. Goku just kind of showed up in general out of nowhere to help Hit kind of at least recover and figure out a way to beat Dispo. Awesome, not really enough, in my opinion. And then they also showed us this idea that Vegeta wanted a rematch with Hit. I mean, he was going after him before he actually got disturbed earlier on in the tournament, which feels like something that they were teasing and they never really intended to give us. That was kind of disappointing, in my opinion. It would have been actually epic to see Hit fight Frieza, but I can't help but think, dude, given the whole concept that this is a battle royale, so much is on the line, so much is at stake. As much as I do and have enjoyed 17 in his character role in the Tournament of Power, I want Hit to sit back, or I would love it if he were to sit back and actually take on 17's role in the last couple of episodes. Hit has such a grab bag of techniques. It wouldn't be so ridiculous to have him have some kind of the same barrier thing, but he's like trapping himself in his own time, and it's kind of something they can't get through. I mean, they even introduced something like that with Universe 11 in general, so it'd be kind of cool if Hit could create his own time dimension portal protection barrier, and he was able to fight everyone else, or at least help Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, and everyone else fight Jiren in 17's place. That way you have Champa and Beerus and everyone else on the sidelines going like, okay, this is just going to be a small little thing because we got Hit and Goku and Vegeta fighting together, maybe even Frieza's there. And after Jiren's out, then we're going to have a real battle, because Hit, they think, could take on all three of these guys, but he can't take on Jiren or something like that. That's something I would like to see. That's a battle royale. That's making last-minute decisions, last-minute agreements in order to win this thing for your particular universe. And if they missed out on anything with Hit, it's that, where you get the very end of this tournament being maybe Hit versus Goku, Hit versus Vegeta, a second rematch, or maybe even Hit versus Frieza. That would have been awesome.
No, I completely agree with you on that, because now it's kind of just became universe versus universe in a sense. There's no sense of battle royale, so having that element of Universe 6 still involved. Remember, there was once upon a time where a lot of people thought the whole Tournament of Power would be ending with Hit, Goku, and Jiren. I think there's been tons of fan art on that, on those three people just being the last three people left, So the idea of Hit actually being there and kind of being the strategist and kind of taking the role of 17 would be dope. Like, I can just imagine a scenario where it's Goku, Vegeta, Jiren, and and Hit, and they do like a scene where like it's Goku and Vegeta staring off and standing off against Hit and Jiren, and they're both on opposite sides, and then Goku and Vegeta are back to back. Oh, this is dope right here. So they're back to back, right? And then Goku's like, even though I'm not a fan of the manga of Dragon Ball Super, I'm gonna take a line from Toyotaro's manga here. You have Goku say, we're in bad shape, man. Universe 11 and 6 are top guys. What should we do? And Vegeta goes, go wild until we can't go wild anymore. And then Goku goes, bet. So, they go blue, right? But you just brought up the whole tag team stuff. When Hit walks over to him, it's not to fight him. Hit then turns and all three of them just boom, give Jiren that death stare. So it's Universe 6 and 7 together in a battle royale versus Jiren, and it's Hit for paying Goku for helping him against Universe 11 in episode 104. I would like that.
See, the one reason that works for me is because it allows Jiren to have a lot more at stake. Right now, even though it's 4-on-1, I can imagine this being a 3-on-1, like you said, or maybe 4-on-1 with Vegeta, Goku, Frieza, and Hit going up against Jiren in order to win the Tournament of Power. And that, to me, has a lot more stakes in the game than just Jiren versus Universe 7. Because with Jiren going up against just the plain guys of Universe 7, I would personally think, and I think 17 should even say this in an upcoming episode, if it's going to be in the next episode or something, just reiterate, maybe we should just run away, because there's only 4 minutes left, and I know that's kind of an eternity in Dragon Ball time, but maybe we should just run away. We have the numbers on our side. Maybe someone hide, so it will be a draw at the very least, and you won't be able to beat us like that. But if Jiren has to fight Goku and Vegeta and Frieza and 17 Hit, or maybe just Hit instead of 17, something like that, you can't just run away. You can't just have 3 teams still left in the game. That would have been the best iteration of the tournament. That would have been the best iteration of the Tournament of Power, at least in my opinion.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you on that. But I'm probably going to end this video. But before I do, I want to ask you one last question here. Since the series is ending, are you satisfied with what we got with Hit?
I think, like I said, he had a great character arc. And I know I've already gotten a lot of flame for this because I did a video about it on my channel, but I just want to reiterate myself here. Hit is not as much of an interesting character as we all thought. And I don't mean to say that he's not my favorite character in all of Dragon Ball Super. I think he's the most interesting person Dragon Ball Super has even introduced. But a lot of his intrigue comes from just the ambiguity of where he is, who he is, and where he came from. And you can't really explain that thing. It's kind of like the Anakin Skywalker thing from all of Star Wars. Sometimes people are interesting because they're ambiguous and because you don't know what made them into who they are, and just maybe a sense of he's 1,000 years old, he's a legendary hitman, everyone knows him to the point where even Frost knows him and everyone's kind of fearful of him. That's awesome. But what we've seen from Dragon Ball Super, the way that they've actually built him as his own character, to me kind of makes him a little interesting. Yes, there's 1,000 years of history there, but given his ability to improve, makes me think that there's nothing that's ever stood in his way, ever. Like, he goes from the very first time he fights Goku he goes from 0.1 of a second to basically like a second in his Tokudobashi. He improves tremendously, never ever falling behind Goku. He kind of does the exact same thing with Dispo. He kind of does the exact same thing with Hit. And to me, with his grab bags techniques and everything else like that, there's not a legitimate story you can tell with Hit in the forefront. The only story you could tell with him in the forefront or anything else is him being a side character, him being the Mad Max of his own series, where he's kind of forced into the side role where you have someone like Furiosa being the main protagonist of that particular story, because that's the way that Mad Max has always been portrayed. This guy isn't really the main character, even though it's actually named after him. He's the titular character, but he's not the main one. Hit would be in the same position, in my opinion. So you could only utilize him in the future of being someone who's a tag team buddy, a best friend in a fight scenario with Goku or Vegeta, or maybe Kamba or something like that. And there's a reason for him, like the tournament, both ones that he's been involved with, where he doesn't have to end it super quickly, or he can't end it super quickly with his abilities or his proclivity to actually end people's lives as quickly as he would like to. That's the only cool thing I could see them doing with Hit in the future. But from what we got with Super and with Hit, I'm satisfied. I would just like to see more because I do think he's a really cool character.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you. With what we've seen from him, I mean, they even gave him his little mini arc, Mary Hit Miss, you know what I mean? I am satisfied with what we got from him because it could have been worse in my opinion, but they could have definitely done more, and you could have reshaped the tournament in such a way that would allow Hit to be even more badass, if you will. There's a lot of stuff they could have did with them, but overall, I am satisfied with it, and I agree with you for the most part on everything you said. Guys, make sure to comment down below. Do you think Hit deserves more? What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think we should have saw him fight Vegeta? Do you think we should have seen him fight Goku again in a rematch? Would y'all happen to see the third round take place in the tournament? Would y'all want to see him stick around and help Goku and Vegeta against Jiren in the later episodes of the tournament? Let me know. Make sure to go check out Real to Real must-see content. I'm telling you, links in the description. Till next time.